Good afternoon, Childcare C-Suite. I hope you are doing well on this Monday. So we are back at it with another quick video. I am not going to take much time because I want to be able to dive in, give it to you quickly, give it to you raw so that you can take it, absorb it, and go implement it. So, last week, I started a series that I am calling the top 10 numbers that every child care owner must know. And because we're dealing with numbers, that means you're putting on the hat of the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. See, that's what the Child Care C-Suite is all about. Knowing when to pivot, when to maneuver between CEO, the Chief Executive Officer, CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, and the COO, the Chief Operating Officer. So for the next couple of videos, we're talking about all things money, all things numbers, all things CFO. So last week, we took a look at number one, which is revenue. This is all about how we make our money. And we looked at different revenue streams. Our primary way of bringing in money is through our tuition, right? But we need to look at other ways that we can make money. We talked about, whether it's fundraisers, whether it's, having the vendors to pay you a portion of what they make when they come in to sell to your students. We talked about selling merch, that if you are not selling merchandise, again, like I said, shame on you. There's no reason why you should not capitalize on your own name and brand. So today, we're going to talk about number two, which is occupancy rate. Occupancy rate. So I kind of introduced this to you in my very first video, but today I want to slow down and talk about exactly what it is. Remember, I told you, do we count enrollments or do we count students? I hope you said we count enrollments, because enrollments allow us to know exactly how full our building actually is. All right, so we're going to look at occupancy rate. Your occupancy rate is based on your license capacity. Now, I'm going to use my school as an example. I am licensed for 179 students at one time in my building. Now, you're like, Mia, why are you talking about students? Because your capacity is actually talking about how many children can be in your center at one given time in the run of that day, right? So if all of my students showed up, by law, I am only allowed to have 179 students. However, I can serve easily between 230 to 250 students in the run of a day. So that's when we're going to look at enrollments. So today, our terminology is occupancy rate. I want to know how full you actually are. And that answer will be determined in a percentage. That's how we get our occupancy rate. We're going to look at what percentage are you full. Are you 70% full? Are you 90% full? Are you 66% full? That's what we want to determine. So the step number one to determine this, I'll come over here. Step number one, you must know your licensed cap, your license capacity. Again, for me, that number is 179. Now, what I want you to do though, okay, is to list all of the names of your classrooms. So I have a total of 11 classrooms in my building. I have one classroom that sees 60 children in the run of a day. Let's talk about it. Okay, I did not list all of my classes, but what I did do was just write down a few. So you see infant A, that class can hold 12 students at one time, okay? Infant B, it can hold 8 students at one time. And then I have my 1-year-old A class, my 1-year-old B. Both classes can hold 12 students. But let's talk about this room right here. This room is what I call my multi-purpose room. Okay, so in that room, I have my part-time VPK. Those are the students who only come for 3 hours. So I have a morning group of 20. They come from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. Then I have an afternoon group of VPK students. That same classroom will now hold 20 more students in the afternoon from 11:45 to 2:45. Then they go home. Then we pick up students next door from a neighboring elementary school, and that same room is licensed to be able to see 20 students. So I can serve 20 students in the afternoon. So although I'm licensed for 179, and it is counting this, I have an additional 40 children that I can see in the run of the day based on the way that I've staggered it. So if I add 40 here, that's 9, that's 11, that's 219 children that I can actually serve. So my license capacity is 179, but I can actually serve, let me get some space on this board. Let me put it up here. I can actually serve 219 enrollments in the run of the day. Does that make sense? So that room that is licensed for 20 now sees a total of 60 children in the run of a day. So your occupancy rate, I am going to erase this just so I can have a little room here. So remember, my number is 219. So although I'm licensed for 179, I know that in order for me to be 100% full, I need to see 219 enrollments, okay? Enrollments. I think I made a mistake and said the word students. I'm talking about enrollments. All right. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm sitting at, I think it's 199 enrollments. I'm going to take that number and divide it by what? 219, okay? Because I have 199 enrollments. So you're like, well, Mia, how did you figure that out? I looked at each class. In my infants, my infant A, it can hold 12, I have 12. In my infant B, it can hold 8, I have 8. In my 1's A, it holds 12, I think I have 9. In my 1's B, I have 12. It can hold 12, and I think I have 10. So that's how you figure it out. Now I'm going to do some quick math, and I am going to divide 199 divided by 219, and I am sitting at 91%. My occupancy rate at this time is that I am at 91% full. And that's pretty darn good, right? You know, if you can hover around 90 to 95%, I mean, if you can get 100%, let's go. I think I've only done that 1 year since I've been open that I was actually 100% full. So if you can do that, way to go. But right now, I want you to calculate your occupancy rate. Basically, the easiest way to do it, list all of your classrooms, write down your license capacity for that class, because DCF gave it to you, and then write down how many enrollments you have right now in that classroom. You're going to add up all of those numbers. So my 12, my 8, my 9, my 10, now I have 11 classrooms, okay? Add that up and then divide it by whatever your license capacity is, or whatever you realize you can actually bring into your building. Even though I'm licensed at 179, I can serve 219. Why? Remember, I have a classroom that allows me to see 60 children. If you're not doing that, find a way to do it. You may not be able to do it now, but it's something to think about next year, right? Don't cap yourself. Don't get yourself like locked into a box where you're like, oh, well, I can only have 20 because that's what DCF said. No. One room, this room, my multi-purpose room, this room makes me money, okay? So our number that we're focusing on as a CFO today for this week is occupancy rate. So you've learned revenue and now you've learned occupancy rate. I would love for you guys to calculate this, and by the end of the week, drop on Facebook in our group, drop in there what your occupancy rate is. No judgment. It is about making sure you know these numbers. So don't feel like, oh man, I'm only 75% full or I'm 80%. You got to know where you are. That's the only way you can put a plan in place. Because guess what? I want to get these 3 extra enrollments. I want to get those 2 extra enrollments. So right now, that's 3 and that's 5 enrollments that I'm missing out on. If I did the math, which we will do later, I want to know how much money am I leaving on the table by not having those 5 enrollments in there, right? That's 5 enrollments weekly that's not bringing in money for me. So it's better to know where you are so that we can put a plan in place. That means I need to drive ads. I need to get on Facebook and do marketing. I need to run some type of special or promotion at my school so that I can attract more people. When people come for tours, guess what? I may be waiving their registration, their supply fee, and part of their first week's tuition. Because at the end of the day, that's small coins compared to they get in your school and they stay with you for the next 2, 3, 4 years. All right? That's the tip that I have for you this week. If you have any questions, you guys know where to find me. But this week is all about your occupancy rate. Have a great day.